morning everyone. So can you see the board properly? Okay. So welcome back to your biology theory class. In my first two classes I have completed up to the male reproductive system and female reproductive system. Okay, so those who have missed the class, please check it in the YouTube. It is available in the YouTube. Okay, I have uploaded two videos for this chapter, human reproduction, and today I will start with another new topic, that is gametogenesis. Okay, today's topic is gametogenesis. So before starting this topic, you have to know the meaning of the gametogenesis. So genesis means, here is a term, that is genesis. Genesis means formation, right? Gameto. So gamete formation or synthesis of the gametes. So from where gametes can be produced? Gametes can be produced in the testes and ovary, that means from the primary sex organs. So in case of male and female, primary and secondary sex organs are present. So what are the primary sex organs? In case of male it is testes, and in case of female it is ovary, right? So from the testes sperms will be produced, and from the ovary eggs or ova will be produced. So these are the gametes. So production or the formation of the gametes is, the process is considered as gametogenesis. That means formation of the sperm and the ovum from the testis and ovary respectively is called as gametogenesis. Now gametes can be produced from the which type of cell? Actually from the germ cells. Okay, from the germ cells gametes can be produced. So the process of the formation of the two types of gametes, that is sperm and ovum, is having two different pathways. First I will discuss about the process of formation of sperm. This process is considered as spermatogenesis. So first I will discuss spermatogenesis. Okay, what is the meaning of spermatogenesis? Spermatogenesis means that the process of the formation of the sperm. Okay, and after that I will discuss about the oogenesis, that means the process of formation of egg and ovum. Now when this spermatogenesis process will start? This process will start at the time of puberty. When a male will reach at the puberty, from the puberty this spermatogenesis process, that means process of formation of the sperm, will start. Okay, now there are different steps by which this spermatogenesis process is taking place. First one is spermatocytogenesis, after that spermiogenesis, and at the end spermiation. Okay, so I will discuss all these one by one. So for that we have to check a diagram which I have drawn on the board. This diagram is showing the sectional view of the seminiferous tubule. Okay, in my last class I have shown to you different parts of the seminiferous tubule. I have taken only one part of the seminiferous tubule to show you the different steps of the spermatogenesis. So first, which part you can see? But I can see the board clearly. Everyone is facing the same problem. Okay, Marjan, then it may be your problem. Please rejoin the call. Okay, please rejoin the call. Okay, thank you. So first, for the process of the spermatogenesis we need some immature male germ cells. Okay, so at the peripheral portion or inside portion you can see I have written spermatogonium. What is that? Spermatogonium. Okay, that it is in the singular form. In singular form, it is considered as spermatogonium, and in plural form, it is considered as spermatogonia. Spermatogonia. Okay, so the spermatogonia are present on the inside wall of the seminiferous tubules. Okay, and these in testes, these spermatogonia are considered as immature male germ cells, and from these immature male germ cells we will get the spermatozoa or sperms. Okay, how? I will discuss one by one. First, what happens? Spermatogonia undergo mitosis type of cell division. Okay, so after the mitosis, it will increase in number. First, the immature male germ cell or spermatogonia will multiply inside the seminiferous tubules by mitotic division to increase their numbers. And these spermatogonia are diploid in nature, and their chromosome number is 46. Chromosome number is 46, and as they are diploid in nature, so we can write 2n. 2n means diploid in nature. Okay, now the sum of the spermatogonia will be called as primary spermatocyte. They will be converted into primary spermatocyte. And from the primary spermatocytes, another type of cell division will take place, that is meiosis type of cell division. And you can remember, meiosis type of cell division is divided into two parts, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So first one is meiosis 1, and meiosis 1 is considered as reductional division. So reduction in the chromosome number will take place in the first case. So from the primary spermatocyte, meiosis 1 will take place, and from the after the meiosis 1 in the primary spermatocyte, we will get two haploid equal secondary spermatocyte. So in case of secondary spermatocyte, we can write it like this: n is equal to 23. So just imagine, if this one is the primary spermatocyte, after the meiosis 1 we will get two equal secondary spermatocyte, right? So at first it was 2n is equal to 46, and after the meiosis 1 it became haploid, and the chromosome number is 23. And after the formation of secondary spermatocytes, they will undergo second meiotic division to produce 4 equal haploid spermatids. So from the secondary spermatocytes, again meiosis 2 will take place. From the secondary spermatocytes, meiosis 2 will take place, and after that, after this meiosis 2 cell division, we will get 4 haploid spermatids. So how? Like this. Right? Again their number is n is equal to 23, as they are haploid in nature. So from a primary spermatocyte, from a diploid primary spermatocyte, we will get 4 haploid secondary spermatocytes, okay, which are equal in size. Equal 4 haploid secondary spermatids we will get. Now these spermatids will transform into another structure which is considered as spermatozoa. So let me repeat all this process once again. So first we will get the immature male germ cells, which is spermatogonia. They will increase their number by the process of mitosis, and the spermatogonia will, some of the spermatogonia will undergo into the primary spermatocyte. From the primary spermatocyte, meiosis type of cell division will take place. After the primary spermatocyte, it will be converted into secondary spermatocyte by the meiosis 1, and secondary spermatocytes will undergo meiosis 2, and spermatids will be formed. Okay, and at the end of the process, these spermatids will be transformed into spermatozoa. So there you have to know about the two another terms. Spermiogenesis and spermiation. So the transformation of the spermatids into spermatozoa, this process is considered as spermiogenesis. This process is considered as spermiogenesis. I am repeating, the spermatids are transformed into spermatozoa and the spermatozoa are generally called as sperms, and this process is considered as spermiogenesis. And another term I have written, spermiation. So what is spermiation? That after the process of spermiogenesis, the sperm's head will be embedded into the Sertoli cells, and at last or finally they will be released from the seminiferous tubules. This process is considered as spermiation, the release of the sperm from the seminiferous tubules. Okay, so why the sperm heads are embedded into the Sertoli cells? Because Sertoli cells will provide them nutrition. When we have seen the actual structure of the seminiferous tubule, there we have got some special type of cells. So one type of cells was these germ cells, and another was the Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells are helping in the providing the nutrition to the sperms, and that is why these cells are also called as nurse cells. Okay, now this is all about the different states of the spermatogenesis. Now next you have to know that how these steps or this process is occurring. This is actually totally under the hormonal control. Okay, so now I will show you the hormonal control of spermatogenesis. Hormonal control. So when this spermatogenesis process will start, it will start at the time of puberty, at the age of the puberty. So how? Because that time significant increase in the level of the GnRH will take place. So what is the full form of GnRH? Full form of GnRH is gonadotropin releasing hormone. So all these you have read in the class 11. It was the last chapter, that is control and coordination. So, and why it is called so? Because these hormones, this hypothalamic, this GnRH hormone will be released from the hypothalamus. Okay, and hypothalamus will stimulate or the another gland, that is pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is having two lobes, anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary is under the control of the hypothalamus, and as its name is GnRH, that means gonadotropin releasing hormone. Why releasing hormone? Because this hormone will stimulate the anterior pituitary to release the gonadotropins. It will send a positive signal to the anterior pituitary to release the different hormones. So as they are releasing from the hypothalamus, that GnRH is considered as hypothalamic hormone. This GnRH will be considered as hypothalamic hormone. Now then it will stimulate the pituitary gland, and from the pituitary gland gonadotropins will be released. Gonadotropins will be released. Two types of gonadotropins will be released. What are they? FSH and LH. What are the full form of these two? FSH means follicle stimulating hormone and LH means luteinizing hormone. Now what are the functions of these to LH hormone will stimulate the Leydig cells. You can remember it very easily. It starts with L. L for LH and L for Leydig cell. So the luteinizing hormone will act on the Leydig cell, and as a result of that, what will happen? It will stimulate to release the androgens. You know that in generally the male hormones are considered as androgens. So from the Leydig cells, beside the seminiferous tubules, there are some spaces which are considered as interstitial space, and some pyramidal shaped cells are present there. These are called the interstitial cells or Leydig cells, and these Leydig cells are helping in the releasing of androgens, for example testosterone, right? And these androgens will help in the process of the spermatogenesis. So ultimately it will help in the process of spermatogenesis. Okay, now come to the another part, that is FSH. FSH will stimulate another type of cell, Sertoli cell. So you have read in previously that two types of cells, one is the male germ cells and another is the Sertoli cells, which are present inside the seminiferous tubules. So these FSH, so here I have drawn one Sertoli cell, you can see. So from the FSH, follicle stimulating hormone will stimulate the Sertoli cell, and the Sertoli cell will secrete a fluid which will help in the process of spermiogenesis. Okay, so they will secrete some factors, some protein factors which will help in the process of spermiogenesis. Clear? So let me repeat the whole process once again. At the age of the puberty, the gonadotropin level of the gonadotropin releasing hormone in the hypothalamus will be increased, and hypothalamus will send a signal to the anterior pituitary to release two gonadotropins. What are they? Follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone will act on the Leydig cells and they will secrete the androgens, which will ultimately help in the process of spermatogenesis. And follicle stimulating hormone will act on the Sertoli cells. They will secrete a fluid. There are some factors which are present which will ultimately help in the process of spermiogenesis. You know the meaning of spermiogenesis. Now this is under the feedback control. Okay, these are under the feedback mechanism. Okay, so this hormonal mechanism sometimes is considered as feedback mechanism also. Okay, so that means it will be send signals to the hypothalamus and pituitary according to the amount of the FSH and LH. Okay, that means when it is required or not. So this is the way by which, or these are the different hormones which are playing main role in this gametogenesis process. That means particularly we have read today the spermatogenesis process. Okay, so this is all about the process spermatogenesis. In my next class I will start with the structure of the sperm and the another process, that is oogenesis. So up to this portion, have you understood? Up to this portion, if you are having any doubt, you can ask me. I don't know, Marjan. Why? Why are you asking me this type of questions? Okay, so I am telling you repeatedly that classes, that means the up to the male reproductive system and female reproductive system, I have discussed in my previous 2 classes, and these 2 videos are already uploaded in the YouTube. Those who have missed the class, please check it from the YouTube. Okay. Okay, so thank you and bye bye everyone. See you in my next class.